Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another wonderful episode of The Basement, where we like to talk about things theologically, practically, and hilariously. My name's Tristan.
My name's Ezra.
And we are back for another wonderful episode of the book studies that we've been doing.
Yes.
And so far, we've gone through the first 5 books of the Bible.
Yes.
Called the Pentateuch.
Mm-hmm.
Quick, name them.
Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy.
Good job! You did not do that quickly. I was expecting, quick, but, you did it very methodically. Well,
I had to count while I said them.
yeah, that's fair. What comes after those?
Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther, Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentations, Ephesians. Yeah, so far I think I'm going to
Ephesians?
Is that wrong? That's wrong. Ephesians in the Old New Testament.
Yeah, I was like, Ephesians?
Wait, what did I say? Is it Chronicles and then Ephesians? Is that what I said? I don't know. 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther, Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Solomon, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentations. What's after Lamentations?
Is it Ezekiel, Daniel, Hosea, Jonah,
Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk.
Amos. Where's Amos?
Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah.
Yeah.
Nahum.
Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah,
Malachi.
Zechariah,
Malachi. Right? Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, Joshua, Judges, Ruth, 1st and 2nd Samuel, 1st and 2nd Kings, 1st and 2nd Chronicles, Ezra, Nehemiah, Esther, Job, Psalms, Proverbs, Ecclesiastes, Song of Songs, Isaiah, Jeremiah, Lamentations, Ezekiel, Daniel, Hosea, Joel, Amos, Obadiah,
Ezekiel, Daniel,
Jonah, Micah, Nahum, Habakkuk, Zephaniah, Haggai, Zechariah, Malachi. Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, Romans, 1st and 2nd Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, 1st and 2nd Thessalonians, Timothy, 1st and 2nd Timothy, Titus, Philemon, Hebrews, James, 1st and 2nd Peter, 1st and 2nd, 3rd John, Jude, and Revelation.
Nice. Good job. So,
I read them.
We have not gotten super far.
Yeah. Yes, in relativity to the 66 books.
Correct. We are in book number 6. And that book number... 7, actually. Book number 7. We are farther
6,
than the...
7?
But anyways, we are in the book of Judges, more specifically halfway through the book of Judges.
We're halfway there.
Whoa! Living on a prayer. Alright. So...
Why is my nose so red?
I don't know. Goodness gracious.
Your eyes are bloodshot.
Yeah, probably.
You been vaping?
No.
Smoking?
No.
Doing drugs?
No.
You've been crying. Did you just break up with somebody?
Myself.
Wow, that's the weirdest relationship I've ever seen. But
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was because of the intrapersonal connections. They just weren't fulfilling for me.
You were a sad man.
I'm also ridiculous because this is not actually real. But anyways, for the first half of the book of Judges, we have noticed that the Israelites are really good at creating cycles for themselves.
Yes.
Where they sin.
Yes.
Become captives.
Yes.
Ask God for help.
Yes.
Get help.
Yes.
Get free.
Yes.
And then sin again.
Yes.
And it happens over and over and over again.
It's a very repetitive cycle.
Oh, extremely. But it helps us recognize that we also are prone to the same things too if we are not careful.
Yes, and we are sinners and we all fall short of the glory of God.
It's very true. Especially in things that we have fallen in once before.
Yes. Well, history repeats itself. We know that as a very, very well-known fact. That no matter where you feel as though you are, and you feel as though history won't repeat itself, if you don't have something to remember or something reminding you that you don't want to go back to it, history will repeat itself.
Yeah,
that's just a fact.
If you don't know your history, you are doomed to repeat it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. A line I've heard many times.
I should really stop drinking energy drinks. You see this? See this, kids? If there's kids watching this, if you drink energy drinks, your forehead will look like this. And it's getting slower and slower. This is not a unicorn horn. It's actually a patch of hair, believe it or not.
God, I pray for a boost of self-confidence. Anyways. You look like alfalfa. Anyways.
You are so beautiful to me. Can't you see? You're everything I hope for. You're everything I need. You are so beautiful to me. Thank you. Worked very hard on that one. That was to Darla from Alfalfa.
I guess, of course. Well, we are going to jump right back in to this. Ah, yes.
Okay. Yes, I'll be back on topic now.
We will jump right back into the second phase of the Book of Judges right after he's done fixing his hair. Da, 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 da. Okay, we're back. Okay, so we go into chapter 11.
Chapter 11.
To a guy named Jephthah.
Jephthah
the Gileadite. But this man was a great warrior, but apparently he was the son of a prostitute.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, very unfortunate. Given the fact that his dad had a wife and a bunch of legitimate sons. And so Jephthah was a little bit of an outcast.
Okay.
Within his family. So Jephthah actually fled from his brothers, as it says in verse 3, and lived in the land of Tob. Then some lawless men joined Jephthah and traveled with him. Verse 4. Sometime later, the Ammonites fought against Israel. When the Ammonites made war with Israel, the elders of Gilead went to get Jephthah from the land of Tob. They said to him, "Come, be our commander, and let's fight against the Ammonites." Jephthah replied to the elders of Gilead, "Didn't you hate me and drive me from my father's house? Why, then, have you come to me now when you're in trouble?" They answered Jephthah, "Since that's true, we now turn to you. Come with us, fight the Ammonites, and you will become leader of all the inhabitants of Gilead." So Jephthah said to them, "If you are bringing me back to fight the Ammonites, and the Lord gives them to me, I will be your leader." The elders of Gilead said to Jephthah, "The Lord is our witness, if we don't do as you say." So Jephthah went with the elders of Gilead. The people put him over themselves as leader and commander, and Jephthah repeated all his terms in the presence of the Lord at Mizpah. Okay?
And that was to where?
That was to verse 11.
Verse 11 of what chapter?
Chapter 11.
Got it.
Okay? So,
what version are you in?
HCSB? It's a study Bible version of the Christian Standard Bible.
Okay, I was in the right one then. Anglicized?
I don't know what that means.
Me neither.
Okay? So the land of Gilead has actually appeared in this book a few times before. Okay? So the previous judge, his name is Jair. He was a Gileadite. And he had judged Israel for 22 years. Remember, he had his 30 sons that rode on 30 donkeys. Okay? And we're also going to look at... Oh, my.
Your dog is having a fit.
I know, my dog is having a terrible fit. Ladies and gentlemen, do not upset your dog.
Yeah, don't make him sleep outside. It's bad.
Okay, you know what? You spoiled her. This is your fault.
Yes.
The reason why she is upset is because you spoiled her last night. That's the only reason.
Yes. It was raining. It was cold. He was going to make his dog stay outside, but I was like, nah, Holmes.
I make her sleep outside every night. She's a dog.
Yes, but she's domesticated.
And?
Domesticated dogs are used to comfort.
They're not meant to live in comfort.
Yes, they are. They're domesticated.
No, they're not meant to live in comfort. They have a job.
We should make a podcast episode about the importance of domesticated animals and keeping them inside. Okay, as we continue.
So
it's not a win or a lose situation. It's just a conversation, my guy.
We've already had this conversation.
But still, it'd be a conversation to have, not a win-lose.
Yeah, you're gonna try to convince me. I'm gonna try to convince you.
Yes, but it's not a win or lose. You said you were going to win, which infers that there is a win and lose, but there is not.
Yes.
There is an argumentative, which, yes, there is persuasiveness, and yes, you could win somebody over, but not in this sense where it would not be a competition. It would just be, okay, here are points of view on either side. Now, if we were talking about atheism versus theism,
then I will win.
I'm not going to be against you on that.
All right, back to the book of Judges. So, Jephthah gets made a leader of Gilead, and then the Ammonites send messengers to Gilead. And Jephthah is like, all right, you need to stop attacking us. This is dumb. And the Ammonites are like, why? You killed our brothers. You took our land.
Mm-hmm.
We want it back. And Jephthah is like, didn't you slaughter us? Didn't you kill us before that?
Mm-hmm.
And neither of them came to a peaceful agreement. So, this is the final message that Israel sends to the Amorites. No, wait. Whoa, hold on. This is the last message that the Israelites send to the Ammonites, because the Amorites were their brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So, Jephthah sent messengers to the king of the Ammonites to tell them, this is what Jephthah says. Israel did not take away the land of Moab or the land of the Ammonites, but when they came from Egypt, Israel traveled through the wilderness to the Red Sea and came to Kadesh. This is verse 16 of chapter 11. But when they came from Egypt, Israel traveled through the wilderness to the Red Sea and came to Kadesh. Israel sent messengers to the king of Edom, saying, please let us travel through your land, but the king of Edom would not listen. They also sent messengers to the king of Moab, but he refused, so Israel stayed in Kadesh. Then they traveled through the wilderness and around the lands of Edom and Moab. They came to the east side of the land of Moab, and camped on the other side of Arnon, and did not enter into the territory of Moab, for the Arnon was the boundary of Moab. Then Israel sent messengers to Sihon, king of the Amorites, king of Heshbon. Israel said to him, please let us travel through your land to our country. But Sihon would not trust Israel to pass through his territory. Instead, Sihon gathered all his people, camped at Jahaz, and fought with Israel. Then the Lord God of Israel handed over Sihon and all his people to Israel, and they defeated him. So Israel took possession of the entire land of the Amorites who lived in that country. They took possession of all the territory of the Amorites from the Arnon to the Jabbok, and from the wilderness to the Jordan. The Lord God of Israel has now driven out the Amorites before his people Israel, and will you now force us out? Isn't it true that you may possess whatever your god Chemosh drives out for you, and we may possess everything the Lord our God drives out before us? Now are you any better than Balak, son of Zippor, king of Moab? Did he ever contend with Israel or fight against them? While Israel lived 300 years in Heshbon and its villages, in Aroer and its villages, and in the cities that are on the banks of the Arnon, why didn't you take them back at that time? I have not sinned against you, but you have wronged me by fighting against me. Let the Lord, who is the judge, decide today between the Israelites and the Ammonites. But the king of the Ammonites would not listen to Jephthah's message that he sent to him. And then Jephthah goes to the Lord and prays about the battle about to happen. And what happens is that Jephthah makes a vow that if God helps him win against the Ammonites, he will sacrifice the first thing that comes out of his front door to greet him.
Mm-hmm.
And Jephthah's now sworn to this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, this is a vow. You made it to God. Basically, if you made a vow to God and you didn't fulfill it, you would die.
Mm-hmm.
Basically.
So the summary of Judges 11, Jephthah, the Gileadite, son of a prostitute, is called to lead against Ammon. He vows that if victorious, he will sacrifice whatever first comes out of his house. He defeats Ammon, but his daughter is the first to greet him. He fulfills the vow. The text leaves the exact nature ambiguous, but traditionally understood as human sacrifice or lifelong dedication.
Man, I was getting to that part. You spoiled it.
Well, we got to it.
You spoiled it. But yes, so God handed over the Ammonites to Jephthah, and he defeated 20 of their cities. 20 of their cities.
Nice.
These are big cities. These are gigantic.
Elon Musk is in the next chapter.
What? No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, look, Elon.
Oh, whatever. And then Jephthah comes back, and he's expecting like some sheep or goat to come through the front door of his house once he gets back home. And as it turns out, the first thing that comes out of his home is his daughter. His only child.
Oof.
And he is distraught, and she is distraught. Obviously. Because, like, she's gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
And his bloodline is ruined now. And so he has time to mourn, and she has time to mourn. She goes out into the hills and into the mountains to go with her friends to mourn before she is sacrificed.
Mm-hmm.
And also mourn her virginity. Yes, because she was not going to be wed. She was not going to be able to have children. She was not going to have a family.
Oof.
Because she's going to die.
Oh, yeah, that's unfortunate.
So that's basically what they're mourning. Their virginity back in the day had a much higher weight to it than it does now. And so, yeah, she was mourning basically because part of her purpose in life was now not going to be fulfilled because of a vow her father made. And this entire story is a lesson of how not to swear flippantly or vow to do things based upon reckless things. Because you don't know the consequences of what may happen because you swore to hold yourself accountable or to do this if this happens, that sort of thing. You don't know the consequences of having to fulfill that vow or not fulfilling that vow. Because breaking a vow is an extremely serious crime. It's like you don't break
that time.
In that time. It's kind of like you give someone your word. Like, think about the mafia, you know? If you give someone your word in the mafia, they hold you accountable to that word in the mafia.
Yeah, and if you don't, then bippity boppity, you get bopped on the head.
Yeah, goodbye. It's kind of like that.
Yeah.
Yes, I brought up the mafia. It's okay. No.
Yes.
But yes. And then chapter 12.
We can summarize it.
Please don't. It's going to ruin part of the story.
Why?
We do the summary after the chapter's over. Do the summary after the chapter is over.
Why not? now, then we could go through it, and then we have...
Because it's part of telling a story. You give the summary after you've been through that part.
Or you summarize the whole entire thing, and then you talk about it after.
Why?
Because that's the point of what we're doing.
I am summarizing it.
Okay. You do you, Home Slice.
Man. Now you're making me feel bad.
That wasn't the point, but whatever.
Yeah, fine. I guess you can do it if you want. I don't feel like summarizing anymore.
This guy trying to guilt trip me. Little does he know I don't have emotions.
Yeah, that's a lie. You have emotions.
Okay, keep going. So you can get past your sob story.
Apparently, you didn't want me to summarize it the way I was
This
summarizing.
guy needs some better acting skills. No, this is just embarrassment. At least you're hiding behind your microphone. That's fine.
I'm not hiding. I purposely moved it so that I wouldn't be hiding behind it.
You were just behind it though.
Oh, okay. Well,
yeah, you're like your whole nose was covered by it when you turn your face. Yeah. You should like lower it a little bit. There you go.
hey. Oh,
This is why you plug in the cord under it, not over it.
that's fine. Anyways, Jephthah continues to be judge. Okay, even though he lost his daughter, he still continues to be judge and all that. And then he has conflict with Ephraim, because for some reason, Ephraim, is just having problems because they didn't like it that they weren't called to help fight against the Ammonites. They didn't like it. This is not the first time that somebody was mad that they weren't called to fight. This is not the first time. Okay? But the last time it was peaceful. Like, hold on. You did fight. And also, we didn't call you because this really wasn't your problem.
Mm-hmm.
This time, however, Jephthah's like, well, here's the deal. We did call on you, actually. And we were fighting, hoping you would help us, but you didn't. So what are you gonna do about it?
Mm-hmm.
And the Ephraimites must have still had their hackles raised and been all mad about it and all that, because Jephthah had to gather all of the men of Gilead, his own people, and fight Ephraim. Who are Israelites, by the way. They're all Israelites. And they defeated Ephraim. And because Ephraim had said, you Gileadites are Ephraimite fugitives in the territories of Ephraim and Manasseh. The Gileadites captured the fords of Jordan leading to Ephraim. Whenever a fugitive from Ephraim said, let me cross over, the Gileadites asked him, are you an Ephraimite? If he answered no, they told him, please say Shibboleth. If he said Sibboleth, because he could not pronounce it correctly, they seized him and killed him at the fords of the Jordan. At that time, 42,000 from Ephraim died. Jephthah judged Israel 6 years, and when he died, he was buried in one of the cities of Gilead. So, yeah, there was a little bit of infighting because Ephraim got a hot head and thought that they deserved to be in on the fighting, or at least in on the spoils, I'm guessing, because they didn't come to help Gilead fight the Ammonites. Stuff, so they had to get their butts handed to them for a second. And yeah, 42,000 died, which was not good.
Yeah, that's no bueno.
No bueno. And then we have a set of 3 judges who are very short in record. We have Ibzan, who was from Bethlehem, judged Israel after Jephthah and had 30 sons. He gave his 30 daughters, so this guy had at least No, this guy had 60 kids.
How did he do that without having just one? How many wives did he have?
I don't know, probably multiple. He gave his 30 daughters in marriage to men outside the tribe and brought back 30 wives for his sons from outside the tribe.
Mm.
Ibzan judged Israel 7 years, and when he died, he was buried in Bethlehem. Elon, who was from Zebulun,
Elon Musk,
judged Israel after Ibzan. He judged Israel 10 years, and when he died, he was buried in Aijalon in the land of Zebulun.
Ayalon.
However you pronounce that. So really, we don't get to hear anything about his escapades. After Elon, Abdon, son of Hillel, who was from Pirathon, judged Israel. Pirathon. He had 40 sons and 30 grandsons, who rode on 70 donkeys. Here we go, the same number of kids and grandkids as donkeys thing again.
So that's the end of 12.
Hold on. Abdon judged Israel 8 years, and when he died, he was buried in Pirathon in the land of Ephraim, the hill country of the Amalekites. Okay?
Okay. Then here's the summary. Ephraimites, envious of exclusion from the Ammonite battle, threatened Jephthah, who retorts they ignore his plea for aid. In the ensuing clash, Gileadites seize the Jordan fords, identifying fleeing Ammonites by their inability to pronounce Shibboleth, saying slaying 42,000 Jephthah judges 6 years before death. Subsequent minor judges include Ezaban of Bethlehem, 30 years with 30 sons and daughters, intermarrying externally. Elon of Zebulun, 10 years, and Abinon of Pirathon, 8 years with 40 sons and 30 grandsons, or 70 donkeys, providing brief interludes of stability.
Mm-hmm. And then we come to the final judge of Israel. The strongest man alive.
Is he the one who had the hair?
Samson. Yep. So Samson is going to be most of the second half of Judges. Okay? He is the last judge of Israel, and he had some issues. This guy was a little bit prideful. Mm-hmm. And we'll talk about it a little bit. But to begin, Samson's mother and Samson's father were faithful to the Lord. And they wanted a son. And hold on. There was a man named Manoah. Manoah was Samson's father. And Manoah's wife was unable to have children. So they prayed to God, asked that he would give them a child. Mm-hmm. An angel of the Lord comes to them, tells them you will have a son. And here's what you should do. Don't drink wine. Don't touch it. You don't touch wine. Don't do it. And don't cut your hair. Or touch or eat anything unclean. Okay? Here's what the boy must do. He must take the vow of a Nazarite. Meaning that he does not touch, eat anything unclean, does not touch anything dead. He does not touch anything of the grapevine, grapes, or wine. He must not touch any of that. On top of that, his parents were instructed to not cut his hair, because that is also part of the Nazarite vow. You're not meant to cut your hair. So
I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Because I like bacon too much.
Right? So, Samson is raised up by his mother and his father, and he becomes really stinking strong. Okay? I just really summarized chapter 13, by the way. I extremely summarized it, but that's okay. Move on to chapter 14.
Let's do the summary, though, of 13.
Mm-hmm.
Philistine domination spans 40 years in Zorah of Dan, the angel. In Zorah of Dan, the angel of the Lord appears to Manoah's barren wife, announcing Samson's birth as a lifelong Nazarite, abstaining from wine, unclean food, and haircuts. To initiate Israel's deliverance, she relays this to Manoah, who prays for the angel's return. It reappears, reiterating instructions. Manoah offers a kid goat, flames consume it, and the angel ascends, revealing its divine nature. Terrified, they realized it was the Lord, and the wife reassures Manoah Samson is born and blessed with the spirit stirring in him. Meneadan introducing motives of miraculous birth and consecrated strength.
Okay. In chapter 14, we do a time skip. Okay. Samson, we don't learn much about his childhood, but we just kind of jump into more of his young adult life and what he does. And he's going on a walk. He goes to a Philistine town. And he sees this young Philistine woman, starts talking with her. Starts to figure out that he likes her. And then he's like, all right, I want to marry you. So he goes back to his mother and father and says, I want to marry this woman. Go fetch her for me. Okay? Crazy. Right? Telling your parents to go fetch the woman you just talked to, by the way, as your wife, to become your wife. Insane. You're making your parents do something that is crazy. Because this is a Philistine woman.
Yeah.
This is a woman who is instructed to not be an Israelite wife. Okay? Even his mother and father ask him questions. Can't you find a wife within our family? Within the Israelites to marry? And stuff. And Samson's like, nope, I want her. And I want her now. Go get it. But here's the crazy part. Samson may have been doing a stupid thing. Really dumb. But as it says in scripture, his parents did not know that this was all happening because of the Lord. Because the Lord was working things all together for Samson to bring judgment against the Philistines.
An opportunity for a confrontation.
And so after having the conversation with his mother and father, he walks back to the city where he saw this woman and gets attacked by a lion. And looky here, Samson doesn't get a scratch on him. He actually tears the lion apart, literally.
With his bare hands.
With his bare hands, literally. And just leaves it on the side of the road. Dead. He's like, alright, took care of that. And he did not tell anybody that he had done this. Not a single person. Just like, alright, took care of that. And he went on his way. Then another day passed, or a few, and he passed down the same road. Saw the lion's dead body that he himself had killed, and saw that there was honey that had been made in the carcass of the lion. And he took some of that honey, which is crazy, because he was not meant to touch dead bodies. First of all, because he was an Israelite. Second of all, because it was he had a Nazarite vow that he had to fulfill. What he did was he made himself unclean by touching a dead body. And on top of that, he gave the honey to his parents and made them unclean unbeknownst to them, because he did not tell them where he got the honey from. So this guy is like doing these crazy things just because he wants to. Wanting a Philistine woman as his wife, killing a lion with his bare hands and telling nobody, and then making himself and his parents unclean without them knowing by touching the lion. Okay? And So a feast gets prepared for the wedding that is going to happen between Samson and this Philistine woman. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And there's a bunch of Philistines that are at this feast and whatever. And they're all hotheads. And Samson is the biggest one of them all. Okay? He's like, I have a riddle for y'all. And they're like, okay. What's this riddle? And Samson's like, first, if I win, I get 30 linen garments and 30 changes of clothes from you. If you win, I will give you the same. Okay? They're like, all right, let's hear it. This is the riddle. Out of the eater came something to eat, and out of the strong came something sweet. They had only 7 days to figure this out. But this is all during the feast. This is a 7-day feast. 7 days. A celebration for this. We hardly do that for Thanksgiving.
Thanksgiving is one day.
Right? We do it for 1 day. They did this for a wedding for 7 days.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Weddings were extravagant.
Very, very extravagant.
Probably because they had more meaning back then.
Oh, yeah. Very much so. And a lot more people got involved.
Yep.
For a lot more than surface level reasons.
Yep.
Okay? So these Philistine guys have failed for 3 days to come up with the right answer. And they're getting desperate. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
They go to Samson's wife and like, all right, can you get the answer out of him? Because we need to do this. There's no way we can give this one guy 30 changes of clothes and all this clothing. There's no way that we can just give him all this fancy stuff just because of this stupid riddle. Get him the answer.
I would like to tell you that it's very enjoyable to hear your very in-depth summaries, but we are at 36 minutes and we're only at chapter 14.
There's so much here.
Mm-hmm.
It's so sad. Well, anyways, they threaten the wife. They threaten the wife. The wife actually ends up getting the answer from Samson. The wife tells the guys. They tell the answer to the riddle to Samson. Samson throws a fit because he knows that they figured it out unfairly. So he goes out and kills 30 Philistines, takes their linens and their changes of clothes, and says, here, you got what you won.
Dang.
This guy, oh boy. Okay, and then, on top of that, Samson leaves the city to go do some business trip or whatever. The Philistines are still pissed off about that feast.
Mm-hmm.
They burn the house down of his wife and his wife's father. They burn it to the ground. Samson's like really angry now.
Mm-hmm.
He's full of rage.
Mm-hmm.
So what he does, you see, he catches foxes with his bare hands. He catches 300 foxes.
Dang.
With his bare hands. Ties them in pairs by their tails with torches and lets them free through the fields.
So he sets the fields on fire.
With foxes.
That's epic.
And all these fields are just burning throughout the entire land of Philistia.
Is that what it's called?
Yeah, that's the land.
Philistia?
Philistia.
Philistia?
Yeah.
That's a little interesting.
Hey, it's not my fault, okay? They named themselves. Okay? And the Philistines are not happy. So they go to the Israelites, the men of Judah, to figure out who did this.
Mm-hmm.
Judah knows who did this. They find Samson. And they're like, okay, so here's the deal, buddy. Can you give yourself up? Because they're going to kill us if we don't give you up. And Samson's like, okay, we'll do. And so he gets into the Philistine hands and then he breaks the bonds that he's been put in.
Huh.
and he grabs a jawbone of a donkey. Very specific for some reason. And he kills 1,000 Philistines with this jawbone.
Like the whole Chuck Norris threw a grenade, killed 100 people, and then it exploded.
Yep. He killed 1,000 guys with his jawbone of a donkey. Okay? He successfully judged Israel for 20 years after that. Then Samson finds love again. Her name's Delilah.
Oh boy.
Chapter 16, the Judges. Her name's Delilah, okay?
Hey there, Delilah. What's it like in New York City? I'm a
Samson has this way of finding the wrong ladies.
In the wrong places.
At the wrong times.
They're just in the wrong places.
Yeah.
It was all in God's timing, so.
Well, yeah, that is kind
not
of
wrong timing, just wrong place.
And this Delilah, she's a prostitute.
Fun.
Yeah. So this love ain't real. It's just business. And, well, Samson doesn't really think about it that way because he's too dumb at the moment. But some Philistines come to Delilah and are like, all right, here's what we're going to do. We're going to pay you a bunch of money if you can figure out Samson's weakness. Okay, because we know he has one. We know he does. Can you figure out the secret to his strength? Delilah's like, okay, I'll see what I can do. And so she comes to Samson once. And is like, hey, what's the secret to your strength? Oh, excuse me. Oh, my. And hold on. He says, if you get 7 fresh bowstrings and tie me up with it, then I will be weak. So she does. She ties his hands together with 7 fresh bowstrings, never been wet. Wait, that have not been dried. My bad. They have not been dried. Stuff. And sets up a Philistine ambush for him. And then she's like, Samson, wake up. He wakes up, breaks the bowstrings like they're nothing but paper, and goes and attacks these Philistines like he's about to protect his house from a break-in. And so Delilah's defeated. And then she's like, you lied to me. First of all, Samson's stupid for not knowing what the heck's going on. And Delilah's like, you've mocked me with your lies. Won't you please tell me how you can be tied up? How forward must you be in order to answer this question? And Samson's like, if you tie me up with new ropes that have never been used, I'll be weak. She's like, okay, cool. Thanks for the info, man. She ties him up with new ropes. Wait, makes another ambush. Wakes him up. He breaks the new ropes, obviously.
Yeah.
And then Delilah's defeated again, and then she's going to have another sob story and another guilt trip coming for Samson.
Oh, boy.
A third time.
Very repetitive.
Very repetitive. Samson is clueless, my guy. You are clueless. Samson is like, all right, so here's the deal. If you weave the 7 braids on my head with the web of a loom, then she fashioned the braids with a pin and called to him, Samson, the Philistines are here. And he awoke from his sleep and pulled out the pin with the loom and the web. And then it's like, okay, you are the dumbest human being on the planet if you have not figured out what the heck she is trying to do. You are so dumb.
Love is a very interesting thing.
And Delilah was persistent. She nagged him day in, day out until he finally told her exactly what was going to happen. is that if he got his hair cut, he would lose all his strength.
And she cut his hair.
Imagine that. She cut his hair, you dum-dum. And the Philistines end up ambushing him the night that his hair is cut, and they put him in chains.
And he's not able to break them.
Nope, he's not. And he's paraded through the land. And then he is put in a mill, and his eyes are gouged out so he can't see, and he's working. He's just working, and all he has time for is thinking. That is it. Thinking about what he did and how he got himself into the situation.
Mm-hmm. Then God gives him his strength back, and he tears down something.
Right? So, yeah, his hair starts to grow back, and one day, the Philistines are having a celebration and a feast in this big temple-looking building.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, you know what? We want to be entertained. Bring out the strong man, Samson. And so they do. So they bring out Samson. He's blind. And that's what happens when your eyes are gouged out. And this young boy is his little helper to help him move along and be his seeing eye person, basically. Mm-hmm. Samson is like, all right, where are the pillars? The boy helps him feel for the pillars. It's like, here they are. Right here and here. And it's like, all right, I need to lean against them. He's leaning against him, and he cries out to God. This is the first time we hear him. Well, actually, this is the second time we hear him cry out to God. The first time was when he was really thirsty after his fight with the 1,000 Philistines with the donkey jumbo. Mm-hmm. That's when he called out to God then. This is the second time he calls out to God. In chapter 16. And he calls out to God, saying, Lord, please remember me. Strengthen me, God, just once more. With one act of vengeance, let me pay back the Philistines for my 2 eyes. And then he took hold of the middle pillars supporting the temple, leaned against them, one in his right hand and the other in his left hand. Samson said, let me die with the Philistines. He pushed with all his might, and the temple fell on the leaders and all the people in it. And the dead he killed at his death were more than he had killed in his life. Then his brothers and his father's family came down, carried him back, and buried him between Zorah and Eshtaol in the tomb of his father Manoah. So he judged Israel 20 years. Okay? Then we get into some miscellaneous stories here. And these stories are not about specific judges. These are about instances within tribes. Okay? So, we're going to get into chapter 17. And chapter 17 just talks about this guy by the name of Micah. Okay?
We're at 48 minutes.
48 minutes? Well, it's good because we only got 4 chapters left. So, Micah, I can't quite remember what happened to Micah. Micah was not necessarily a good guy.
Summary?
Yeah, let's summarize Micah. Chapter 17 and 18.
Micah of Ephraim restores stolen silver to his mother, who consecrates it for idols, and a carved image. Micah establishes a private shrine with ephod, and teraphim, installing his son as a priest, then hiring a wandering Levite from Bethlehem for 10 shekels yearly, room and board. This arrangement reflects burgeoning religious. How do you say that?
Burgeoning
religious syncretism and anarchy, as everyone did what was right in his own eyes, devoid of centralized authority.
And then 18.
You want that one too?
Yes, please.
All right. Landless Danites dispatched 5 spies from Zorah and Eshtaol, logging at Micah's house and consulting his Levite oracle, receiving favorable omens from Laish, reporting Laish's vulnerability. 600 armed Danites en route seize Micah's idols, ephod and Levite. Despite his protest, they conquer peaceful Laish, renaming it Dan, establishing idolatrous worship with Jonathan, Moses' grandson, as a priest. This migration and a cult setup prefigured the Northern Kingdom's schism, and idolatry, exacerbating tribal fragmentation.
Yeah, so there were so many things wrong with Micah and stuff. They were all doing terrible stuff to each other. And I will try to summarize all of 19, 20, and 21 very quickly.
Okay.
So basically, here's what happened in 19, 20, and 21. We just summarized Micah and the Danites. The Danites were a tribe of Israel, and they attacked a peaceful nation. But in Benjamin, a Levite gets into a town and he has a concubine, which isn't a wife, but it's basically just a lady who he can have sons from. Okay? And so he has a concubine, and he's traveling, and then these men of Benjamin attack him. And they are trying to kind of like take the man, and they attack him, and then they basically have their way with the concubine.
That's interesting.
Yes.
Not in a good way.
Not in a good way at all. So he gets attacked in the land of Benjamin. His concubine dies in a terrible way. And then the Levite, in the craziest messaging system possible, cuts up the concubine in 12 pieces and sends each of the pieces to a leader of a tribe of Israel.
Oh, that's... Yeah. And they're Israelites, so they're already not supposed to touch dead things.
Well, in this case, he saw this as terrible because he's a Levite. He knows the laws of God.
Yeah.
And so he's summoning all of Israel in this case to pronounce judgment against the tribe of Benjamin.
Oh, yeah.
Because he was attacked. He possibly could have died in the same fashion that his concubine did.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, well, I guess we're doing this. So all of Israel come and attack Benjamin. And the fight is not easy. Benjamin actually kicks their butts.
Oof.
At the initial time, they're like, well, dang, that's not great.
Yeah.
And the Lord is actually with the other Israelites as they're fighting against Benjamin, because the entire idea of cleansing sin is something God wanted.
Yeah, blood for blood.
We're getting rid of the sin out of here, okay? So he sends Judah first. Judah gets their butt kicked. 22,000 men from Judah died.
Oof.
And Benjaminite casualties minimal. Okay? Second day, God says to fight. Go fight him. Another 18,000 Israelites died on the field. And you might be thinking to yourself, God, why are you telling us to attack them when we're dying? Like, why? Why are you doing this? So Israelite is inquiring of the God, and the Ark of the Covenant, and Phinehas, son of Eleazar, son of Aaron, the rightful high priest, is there. And the Israelites asked, should we fight against our brothers the Benjamites, or should we stop? The Lord answered, fight, because I will hand them over to you tomorrow. Okay, this is the first time God has said that, yes, you will win. Yes. The other times he's like, all right, you asked a simple question, I'll give you a simple answer.
No, Holmes.
And this time he says, you will win. This time you will win. And so they end up fighting against the Benjaminites, and they employ a tactic that was used by Joshua against the city of Ai, actually. So, because they had been defeated by the Benjaminites, the same way that Joshua had been defeated by Ai, their enemies were confident, overly confident. So, they would start fighting, and then they would run away. And
like my hairline.
No, your hairline's wonderful. And they would leave a small group of men behind.
See this? This
Wayne
is
and
a small group of men.
Small group of men behind, waiting to ambush the city that their enemies leave behind. This is like picture perfect representation of what happened. Okay? And in the same way that Joshua defeated Ai, the Israelites defeated the Benjaminites. The Benjaminites come out, start chasing the Israelites. The Israelites that stayed behind get into the city, attack it, destroy it from the inside, and come back to fight the Benjaminites from the backside, which is their most vulnerable position. And they start killing the Benjaminites. 25,100 men of Benjamin. And then they realized, oh, we're done for. And my poor dog. And it says that all the Benjaminites who died that day were 25,000 armed men, all were warriors. But 600 men escaped into the wilderness to the rock of Rimmon, stayed there 4 months. The men of Israel turned back against the other Benjaminites and killed them with their swords, the entire city, the animals, and everything that remained.
Dang.
They also burned down all the cities that remained. So all that was left of Benjamin was the 600 men that fled.
Oof.
So Benjamin, a tribe of Israel, an entire line, family line from one of the sons of Jacob, is almost completely wiped out.
Dang.
600 men are escaped. Okay? Then here comes one of the craziest ways to start up a tribe again. Alright? You have 600 men from the tribe of Benjamin.
And they all become... Never mind.
But...
What?
No. These 600 men are like, well, crap. We're only guys, right? We can't recruit. We can't make more Benjaminites from ourselves.
That's what I was making a joke about.
We can't do that.
They're
And so
frogs.
they're like, well, Israel, we understand that we messed up.
Give us 600 women, please.
We need to find a way to have sons and create more families and rebuild what we lost. And Israel's like, well, all right. Here's what we're gonna do. We are going to... Wait, what? Hold on.
We are paused. Paz means peace. In español.
Well, the men of Israel... So, all of the men of Israel swore an oath that they would not give a wife to Benjamin either.
Oh.
So, yeah, they're running out of options. Poor guy. Poor guys. And so they saw that there was a city that had not joined them in fighting against the Benjaminites. Because this was a call to all of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, something wrong has happened.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone must participate in order to help out. And one city did not. This city was Jabesh Gilead. And Jabesh Gilead ended up becoming the target of the Israelites now.
Oh, dang.
Jabesh Gilead was completely destroyed with with a sword. And they killed everybody. Except for 400 young women.
Oh.
These 400 young women were pure.
Mm-hmm.
They were unmarried. And they would be wives for the Benjaminites. But there's only 400. So that's a problem. 600 minus 400 means 200. There's still 200 guys that don't have wives yet. We got a math issue.
So does each woman have 2 men?
No. They specifically gave a wife to, like, one wife to one man.
That's good.
Okay? So, the remaining 200 are like, bruh.
What about us?
What about us? And so here's what they did. There was an annual festival to the Lord in Shiloh, which is north of Bethel. And the Israelites,
Oof.
The Israelites found a loophole to what they had sworn. They had said, none of us will give a daughter to a Benjaminite man. That's what they swore. That's the vow.
Mm-hmm.
They found a loophole where these men would go to this festival at Shiloh.
Mm-hmm.
And a few guys at a time would go to this festival.
And hide in the vineyards.
Hide in the vineyards. Talk to some ladies. Take them home. Another group would come.
Mm.
Meet some ladies. Take them home. Another group would come.
Very sneaky.
Very, very sneaky indeed. And they ended up getting enough wives for all of them.
Mm-hmm.
And they were dancers. All these were dancers for some reason. The Benjaminites did this and took the number of women they needed from the dancers they caught. They went back to their own inheritance, rebuilt their cities, and lived in them. At that time, each of the Israelites returned from there to his own tribe and family. Each returned from there to his own inheritance. So, it had all been solved.
Mm-hmm.
That conflict is done and over with. The Benjaminites are going to be able to rebuild in one of the craziest ways possible that I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Like, this is nuts. You get shrunk down from, like,
thousands.
100,000 at least.
Mm-hmm.
To 600. You can't rebuild within your own tribe because all of Israel said, nah, we aren't helping you. Then they find a city who didn't actually help out with cleansing the land of sin.
Mm-hmm.
Destroyed that city, by the way. Got 400 wives for 400 of the men. And then told the remaining 200, here's how else you're going to get wives. You're going to go to a festival.
And steal them.
Basically kidnap a wife. And go rebuild your city.
I'm glad I don't live in that time. I ain't kidnapping anybody.
And here, this is the last verse of the entire book. And it sums up the entirety of what has happened.
Seems a little off, but it is what it is.
What?
The last little part of it, everyone did what seemed right right to him.
Yep. It sums up the entire problem of Israel that they have dealt with.
Becoming their own, king.
Yes. Every single one of them. In verse 25, it says, in those days, there was no king in Israel.
No king in Israel.
Everyone did whatever he wanted. There was no order. It was all anarchy. And it's interesting because not even God is considered their king.
That's unfortunate.
Right? That is unfortunate.
Muy unfortunate.
And these last few chapters, the judges are very clearly summed up by this one verse because they just did whatever they wanted.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't care. Even though they had been through multiple cycles of sin and heard from generations past of what God had done to punish the people.
And yet, they didn't care.
Nope, they didn't care. They decided to keep doing it anyways because they're human and they want to follow their own desires.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the lesson for us.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to be fools.
Mm-hmm.
The entire book of Proverbs has many, many, many verses on what a fool is.
Mm-hmm.
Being prideful,
mm-hmm.
thinking that he believes everything and not willing to learn.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to be fools.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to be looked upon by other people as foolish human beings who don't learn from our mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
We're meant to be an example
Mm-hmm.
to other people, like the nation of Israel was meant to be an example to other people. And so we have to be willing to change and be truly repentant.
Mm-hmm.
And not follow in the wrong footsteps of our parents or grandparents
Mm-hmm.
before us.
Mm-hmm.
We're all meant to constantly learn,
Mm-hmm.
which is one of our slogans.
It is our slogan.
We have another one where we talk about things theologically, practically, and hilariously.
That's your slogan.
Okay, fine. Constantly learning is yours. Whatever.
No, that is our slogan. Is the constantly learning.
Okay. Well, my bad. Anyways, that's our slogan, is constantly learning.
There you go.
You constantly want to be learning, not just knowledge, but learning how to be a better person.
Also, on the side note, that's your catchphrase, is you talking
All
about
right,
things.
fine.
Because I don't say that.
Semantics.
You're a semantic.
I am a romantic. Anyways.
A hopeless romantic?
Hopeful romantic.
I'm a hopeless romantic. I think. I don't really know.
All right.
I see romance. It happens.
Well, that's good.
I'm good at it too.
Fair enough. Anyways, we're a little off topic.
Very off topic.
But we all need to learn from the mistakes of people of the past and learn from our own mistakes from our past.
Ovens are not for people.
Yeah. What?
Learning from mistakes from our past.
Oh.
Ovens are not
Oh,
for
my
people.
words. I'm so sorry.
What?
I did not realize we were going to go
Shower
down
should
there.
only be water.
Can you stop bringing that up, please?
Sorry, I'm just saying. That was a very gruesome time. We should not go back to that.
Yeah, that should never be repeated. Ever.
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 So yeah.
We go look at the Anne Frank house.
You keep bringing up stuff.
I'm just saying. History repeats itself, so we have to make sure we remember it.
Yeah. That's true. Very true. Anyways, learn from it. Learn from history.
Learn.
Learn from your history. And also ask God to help.
Yes.
Because when you actually do, he's very willing.
Yes.
As we saw in Samson's story, the only 2 times Samson talked to God.
Oof.
He only talked to him twice, as far as the Bible records. But God helped him twice.
Yeah.
He still provided, even though he was a turd.
Mm-hmm.
A butthead.
Mm-hmm.
Stubborn as a rock.
Mm-hmm.
God still helped him when he asked for help.
Yep.
And so we need to ask God to help us when we are stuck, when we are in trouble,
mm-hmm.
and when we just don't know what to do.
Yep.
Especially when it comes to sin patterns or whatever.
Yep.
Because he's very willing to help. He wants to.
Yep.
He's your God. He's your Father. He wants to help his children out.
Yep.
So.
And if you're wondering why he is visible in his chair, is because for some reason he does not understand that green is not supposed to be worn in front of a green screen, but he still does it anyway. And somehow the camera doesn't pick it up because it's favoritism.
This is amazing. I didn't even think about that. But besides the point.
Sorry, I'm really good at being off topic.
Yeah, that's fair.
That's what I am. I'm the man who does the off topic.
You're the rabbit hole person.
Yes, I'm the squirrel.
Yes. Well, we hope that you got something out of the second half of this Book of Judges, even though it may have been dreary and dark in some places. But
dark in the spot where I just made mention of.
Yes. But I hope you were able to see God's help and God's purposes, even though you saw a lot of human depravity.
And death.
Yes, and death. And death. But in the next book, which is only 4 chapters long, we'll have a little bit more of a happy story. It's on Ruth. It's the book of Ruth. Speaking of romance, anyways. And yeah, we will see God's provision and faithfulness of humans and wonderful love story as well. You're creeping me out, man. Stop it. But remember that for any observations that we make, this is our opinion.
Yes.
And that when it comes to the Bible, do your own research.
Yes.
Just as much as we try to do ours.
Also, if it is directly quoted, it is directly quoted, so that.
Self-explanatory.
Yes. But if it starts being a meandering wander thought, maybe look and think on your own. Don't take it as if it's,
Right. Because we want everyone to be able to critically think.
Yes.
And not just absorb everything and take it as truth.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Well, we hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Saturday. And we will see you next week.
On
The Basement. Bye.
Actually, he's going to pray. And then
oh, yeah, I am going to pray. My bad. Lord God, we thank you for being with us and showing us that even in the middle of our sin and in the middle of our own self-destruction, God, you are working out things for our good. When we saw in the story of Samson that you still were working things out so that you could free the people of Israel. And I pray that we see how you have your hand in each and every one of our situations and are able to bring out light and righteousness, even though it may seem like it's just terrible all the time. Pray that we put our hope and our faith in you and not in our own strength. And I thank you for your love and your faithfulness to us always. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. And we will catch you next time on
The Basement.